Over the years, Game Freak has created a lot of really good Pokemon, but sometimes they show a lot of favoritism towards different creatures they've made, causing people to overhype a lot of Pokemon that, in my opinion, just don't deserve the love they get. So in this video, I'll be talking about what I think are the top 5 most overrated Pokemon in the franchise. If you disagree with some of my choices on the list, just remember that I like most of these Pokemon, and I just think that some of them are really blown out of proportion. Without further ado, let's get started. The Alola region introduced some really great starter Pokemon, becoming one of my favorite starter trios. And even though all of them are pretty good, my least favorite is definitely Decidueye. But the rest of the world seems to think otherwise. First of all, Rowlet and Dartrix in my opinion have weird and ugly designs, especially Dartrix. Decidueye is a cool design, but I personally like Incineroar and Primarina's designs better. I also found it weird when Dartrix evolved from a grass flying type to a grass ghost type. Grass Ghost is an interesting typing, but Game Freak should have stuck to flying, which in my opinion fits the Pokemon way better. Decidueye is also the worst starter to play through the game with because of its grass typing, and now that Rowlet is Ash's starter in the Sun and Moon anime, it's obvious that the Pokemon Company is showing some more love to Rowlet than the other two starters. Decidueye is overrated, but I decided to put it low on the list because the other two starters still get a good amount of love, and Decidueye is still a really great Pokemon. I said this earlier in the video. If you disagree with some of my choices on the list, just remember that I like most of these Pokemon. When I said most of these Pokemon, I meant all of them, except Salamence, which is by far the worst pseudo-legendary Pokemon across all 7 regions. I really do not understand why people like this Pokemon. Its typing is the same as Dragonite's, which I find pretty boring and unoriginal. And its design has a similar problem. It's just a normal dragon, with nothing that really makes it stand out as a Pokemon. And don't get me started on its Mega Evolution. It may be good competitively, but it looks like a kite or UFO or something, I don't know, it's just weird. As far as its pre-evolutions, Bagon is kinda cute, but Shelgon doesn't make sense to me. I think Game Freak was trying to make a metamorphosis scenario, with Bagon going into some kind of cocoon, being Shelgon, and turning into Salamence from there, but I don't think it works well with this kind of Pokemon. Salamence is just an inferior version of Dragonite, which is a way better dragon flying type, being more useful and competitive other than Mega Evolutions, and having a more original design. As the franchise's mascot, Pikachu had to be on the list. While I don't think I need to go too in depth on why this thing is extremely overrated, I still want to express how I feel about Pikachu. Before I go into the negatives, I do want to mention that I actually really like Pikachu's design. It's simplistic, cute, and kinda cool, and it makes sense why Pokemon would use this as their mascot. Unfortunately, that is the only redeeming quality for Pikachu. To start off, it's really bad online, but that has to be expected since it's not evolved or anything. The thing is, Pikachu evolves into Raichu, which is a decent Pokemon competitively and has a really cool design. But since Pikachu is the series mascot, Raichu, which is a way better Pokemon, never gets any attention. It did get some attention when Alolan Raichu was revealed, but that only lasted a day or two. I still don't hate Pikachu, but when the only Pokemon most people in the world know is Pikachu, you start to get a little bit annoyed. I just think this Pokemon gets too much attention from ignorant people who don't realize there are way better Pokemon out there. These last 2 Pokemon on the list might get some people triggered. Number 2 is Lugia. To many people, Lugia is better than Ho-Oh, but I just fail to understand why. Don't get me wrong, I still think Lugia is a great Pokemon, but Ho-Oh is definitely my favorite of the 2. It just has a better design and color scheme, and its typing actually makes sense, unlike Lugia, which we can all agree should be water type. I feel like there's one major reason that so many people favored Lugia, and that's nostalgia. Obviously, some people got Silver when they were younger, making them have a deeper connection to Lugia. But there was also something else that I think made a big impact on people's fondness to Lugia: the second Pokemon movie, Pokemon 2000. Lugia plays a huge role in the movie, and I've heard so many people say that this movie is one of the main reasons they like this Pokemon. And Ho-Oh doesn't appear in it at all, so it's only natural that people who have seen Pokemon 2000 would favor Lugia. Also, I'm sure you've already heard the complaints about Lugia's typing, so I won't go in depth, but for the record, I completely agree that this thing should be part water type. While Lugia is still a top-notch Pokemon, it doesn't quite deserve the overwhelming love that it gets. Personally, I love every Kanto starter Pokemon and their evolutions, but for some reason, one of them is way more respected than the other ones. And that Pokemon is Charizard. This thing is so overrated. I don't know if it's the anime, the design, the typing, or something else, because in my opinion, all these starters are pretty much equal in quality. A lot of people love this lizard, and the main culprit for Charizard's popularity is the Pokemon Company itself. Seriously, they shove Charizard in our faces so much, it's kinda like a second mascot next to Pikachu. Also, Blastoise and Venusaur got 1 Mega Evolution each, while Charizard got 2, just because it's more popular. And without those Megas, Charizard is trash competitively, especially when Stealth Rocks is such a prominent move in the game. A lot of people like Charizard for its design, which looks like an awesome fire-breathing dragon or whatever, but the other starters have more creative designs, which I appreciate more than just a normal fire-breathing dragon. Who knows, maybe I'm just a little biased because Blastoise is my favorite, but I still think Charizard is definitely the most overrated Pokemon in the history of the franchise.
What's up guys, it's RSVaughan, and I hope you enjoyed my top 5 most overrated Pokemon of all time. If you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and you know, that stuff really helps me out, so do that please, or I'll find you while you're sleeping.